Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So excited you're here because we're going to be going over some summer reads. Mostly, actually, mermaid horror. Yeah, for whatever reason this year, that's just what I was in the mood for. Sometimes it's sharks, sometimes it's mermaids, sometimes it's just slashers. But yeah, this year it was mermaids. There's some other stuff too, but that's just what I was in the mood for. Anyways, might want to grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm actually snacking on, I'll show you what I'm snacking on. This is one of my favorite snacks. And, sorry, but it's Frito Scoops with cream cheese and jalapenos. And the kind of jalapeno changes based on my mood, because everything changes based on my mood. Today it's pickled jalapenos, like what you would put on nachos. Sometimes I get candied jalapenos if I want, a sweeter touch to it. But today I was in the mood for a little bit of spice. So yeah, you got the spicy with the jalapeno, and then a little sweetness with the cream cheese, and then salty with the Fritos. So yeah, is it healthy? No, whatever. It's really good. That's what I'm eating. Won't talk about what's in my cup, but it's really good too. We will talk about the books. Sorry if you can hear noise. There are a couple of readathons happening in July. My friend, the Bright Side Girl, is hosting a mermaid readathon. It's actually, you can kind of pick or do both, but mermaids and or pirates. So that's going on in July. And also, Summerween is happening in July, which is hosted by Gabby Reads. I will link both of their announcement videos down below. So if you want to partake in either or both of those, I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm doing either or both of them because my life is still a little bit crazy. I don't know what kind of commitment I want to do, and I may do a little bit of both or whatever. I do have the books for them, so I could, but I don't know yet. I don't know what kind of, or maybe I will and just like not put too much pressure on myself. Maybe I will and just kind of, just do what I can and just, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'll link both of their videos down below, like I said, and they both sound like a lot of fun because they're, Instagram prompts, photo prompts, and you can do the photo prompts or you don't have to. You could just read if you want to or whatever. They're both super laid back and super fun. So there's no pressure anyways. So maybe I will. And I'm in the mood for mermaid horror and I'm in the mood for summer horror. So I don't think it would be a big deal if I did. I don't know. We'll see. My life is just a little bit wild right now still. Things have not settled down. My jaw is better. Just if you guys want an update, if you guys care about that at all. I think you are. I mean, we're friends. So I think you do care. But I just, I don't want to lay a lot on you. You're here for books. You're not here for all that shit. But my jaw is better. It's slowly getting better. They said it will take 3 to 6 weeks for it to fully get better with what they're doing. So I don't think we're gonna have to do anything too invasive. They said if it didn't get better, we'd have to go to something more extreme. But hopefully it's gonna make a complete comeback. But it's a lot better than it was. I'm able to eat, can almost open my mouth all the way now. So it's a lot better, but the rest of my life is still a complete dumpster fire. So, but it's fine. Whatever. We're coping, however we can. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's get into the books. I just want to give you guys an update for those of you who have been asking. But yeah, let's get into the books. First one has been recommended to me by 3 different friends, so I had to buy it. Cliff over at Cliff's Dark Gems, he recommended, he hadn't read it, but he said he's heard that it was really good. And then the Bright Side Girl, also my friend Mandy, who isn't on YouTube, she's over on Instagram, all 3 of them recommended Into the Drowning Deep, so I had to buy it, by Myra Grant. So I'm going to read you the back because I don't know a lot about it. 7 years ago, the Atargatis, good lord, that name, 7 years ago, the Atargatis set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a tragedy. Now a new crew has been assembled. Some seek to validate their life's work. Some seek the greatest hunt of all. Some seek the truth. But for the ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. And one of the quotes on the back says, "A claustrophobic deep-sea terror tale that will leave readers glad to be safely on dry land." So yeah, that sounds absolutely terrifying. It's a chunky book, so yeah, that's going to be like a little bit of an undertaking, but if I've read a little bit of reviews and it sounds like a lot of people really liked it, so looking forward to that. Next up is Chlorine by Jade Song. Been wanting to read this for a while. The cover is absolutely stunning. This follows a high school swimmer, and it sounds like she's under a lot of pressure to get a scholarship and be scouted, and she's under a lot of pressure from her peers and her coach and her family and all of that. And she really wants to become a mermaid. She will basically do anything to become a mermaid and to make that happen, no matter the pain, no matter what it takes. She wants to become a mermaid. I believe there's like body horror in this, and I've heard this is very dark, and yeah, it's horror. So all of these are horror, but yeah, I heard this is really dark, so I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, you tell me it's dark and disturbing, and I'm like, sign me up. Next up, we have Lure by Tim McGregor. In the chapel of a forsaken fishing village on another world's shore, the sea-washed bones of old gods hang from the rafters. When a new god drifts into the bay, the menfolk fear nothing as they reach for their spears, but capturing her may be their last act of reckless bravado. Her very presence brings dissent and madness. Her voice threatens to tear the starving, angry community apart. Setting a siege of relentless horror against the backdrop of brine and blood, Lure blurs the line between natural disaster and self-destruction. Next up, we have Siren by John Everson. This one follows Evan. Evan lost his son a year before. He's grieving the loss of his son, who died by drowning in an accident. And Evan one night is on the shore, and he hears this voice of this naked woman on the shore, and he's mesmerized, and this woman disappears back into the sea. And every night John goes to the shore until he finds her again, and he starts an affair with this woman who is a mermaid, and soon realizes that she is far more evil and terrifying than he realizes. And I guess Evan is in danger, so I mean, of course he is. But yeah, sounds really good too. Next up, we have Village of the Mermaids by Carlton Malik III. Now, he writes more bizarro horror, so it may not be for everybody, but I read another book by him. I'll show you. This has nothing to do with mermaids, but I read another book by him called Every Time We Meet at the Dairy Queen, Your Whole Fucking Face Explodes. Let me tell you, I had the best time with it. Definitely bizarre, weird, crazy, but I had the absolute best time, so I'm really looking forward to this one. It's a lot to explain, but in this one, the mermaids are protected by the government, so you can't kill them. But, and of course, they are very dangerous, especially because humans are their main source of protein. So they use these livestock known as food people to kind of keep them happy, to keep them satisfied, so they don't feed on the actual people. On Siren Cove, the mermaids have started to completely avoid the, what they call feeder humans. They've started to completely avoid them, and they've started to prey on the fishermen instead. So there are these scientists there trying to figure out what's going on before the remaining villagers end up as fish food. So yeah, freaking wild. And then they realize that there are other things even worse than the mermaids out there. Sounds freaking wild, which I would expect nothing less from this author. If you love bizarro horror, I would suggest checking out some of his work. Next we have Merfolk. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. I feel like I fuck it up every time I say it. Merfolk. I can't do it. Merfolk. Jeez. This has just been an epic disaster, has it not? By Jeremy Bates. Whatever. Okay. It says they're real and deadly. A renowned marine biologist search for creatures known only in myths and legends turn deadly when the hunters become the hunted. And that's all it says on the back. But yeah, haven't heard really much about this at all, except for the reviews were kind of mixed. So it could go either way. I could love this, I could hate this. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. And I'm going to include this one. This is one that I have read. I was just going to tell you guys about it. So I probably won't reread it this summer. But I wanted to include it to let you guys know about it. And that is The Reyes Incident by Brianna Morgan. So this one is about this lady Liv and a group of her friends go to a closed radioactive bunker that is like completely underwater, like 5 stories down. Which is really creepy. And it's dark and really creepy down there, and they run into a bunch of killer mermaids. After the whole ordeal, Liv manages to make it out alive, and she gets to the police department, and she is interviewed by this police sergeant, Andy. And Andy and her wife are having marital difficulties, so there's the drama with that. So the story goes back and forth between Andy and her marital problems and Liv's story. As the story goes on, Liv is kind of being drawn to Andy. Like, she's kind of crushing on Andy. The focus isn't completely on the mermaids. You kind of have a little bit more to it than that. The mermaids were absolutely brutal. The kills were brutal. Nice and gory, definitely. You have queer rep. You have also, there was chronic illness rep, because there was the fibromyalgia. There was rep with that. So I did really like that. There was a nice diverse cast of characters. There was commentary on sexism in the workplace, also being queer in a small judgmental town. Setting was perfect. Like I said, 5 stories underwater in a super dark bunker. That was really creepy. I think my only issue, like, this was good. Like, I did enjoy it. It was not perfect. The only thing that I didn't like was that it could have been a little bit longer. It was a novella. Could have been a little longer. Like, the ending was just kind of abrupt, but I did like it. The mermaids were super creepy, and like I said, the mermaids weren't the full focus of it, because you did have the drama with the marital problems and all that too, but it was still really enjoyable, and I wanted to include it in the list. That was all the mermaid horror, and I'm going to go into some other summer reads that I plan to get to this summer, possibly also for Summerween happening in July. First one is Summer Chills. Look at this cover, doesn't it look so fun? I found this recently, thrifted it. This is a book of short stories. Just on the back it says, a collection of horror stories in exotic locales, perfect for a chill in the sunshine. Clive Barker, Ramsey Campbell, Harlan Ellison, just a bunch of authors here. Next, we have Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. Also thrifted this one. Haven't read it yet. It's the summer of 1960. The 6th grade boys of Elm Haven, Illinois are forging the powerful, magical bonds that a lifetime of growth and loss will never erase. Amid the sun-drenched cornfields and the sly flirtations of the town's young girls, that loyalty will be pitilessly tested. From the silent depths of the old central school, a hulking fortress tinged with the mahogany scent of coffins, an invisible evil drifts outward, plunging Mike, Dwayne, Dale, Harlan, and Kevin into a war without boundary or mercy, where an eternal enemy owns the night. I'm just going to show you guys the cover too. So this is one of those, what do you call it, step back covers. So you have and then you open it. So I love these kinds of covers. It's really cool. Nice and summery. And then we have The Island. I think this is more thriller than horror. The Island by Natasha Preston. I thrifted this one like a while ago, like a few months ago. This one follows a group of teen social media influencers, and they've been invited to this island amusement park. And it's just them. It's before the park opens. They've been invited and they're getting the VIP treatment like in the hotel and the amusement park. And they're supposed to showcase it on their social media. So they're taking video, they're making posts, they're taking photos and all this stuff. So everything seems perfect, but then things go awry because it says, but soon they realize that something's missing, getting off the island alive. So yeah, sounds really fun. What better summer read than being on an island at an amusement park? Do you hear all that screeching? I don't know what that is. I want to bring this one up as well. This was sent to me by an author, A Misfortune of Lake Monsters by Nicole M. Wolverton. I did bring this up on a vlog recently, but in case you missed that, I wanted to bring it up again here because it does sound like a really fun summer read. So this follows Lemon. Lemon is really wanting to escape her rural Pennsylvania town, but unfortunately she is stuck there because she impersonates the town's lake monster. Her and her family have been keeping the town's tradition of Old Lucy, the lake monster, alive for years. So yeah, Lucy impersonates this monster and no one else in the town knows that her family does this. It's a big secret. But then this actual lake monster shows up. Of course, none of her friends know that Lucy impersonates this monster. Her crush, or this guy that's been crushing on her, doesn't know that she impersonates the lake monster. But then an actual lake monster shows up and her friends are gonna try to beat the lake monster. They're gonna try to save the town. So sounds like a really fun time, and I will be having a review of this one out soon. There are a couple others I'm going to tell you about. These ones I have read, but I wanted to include in this list because they are fun summer reads. One of them's fun and one of them is really dark. First one, I will link a video down below because I did review this one in a video, and that is Slasher Witch at the Water Park by Penny Moons. This water park was built over a bog, and one day this guy gets separated from his friends. He's drunk and he goes to pee and accidentally pees on this bog witch's head, and she's really mad about it. And she ends up going on this whole killing spree across the water park. And not only is she going on a killing spree, but she kind of unleashes this whole thing where the water park itself is going on a killing spree. Like, it sort of comes to life in a way. It was so much fun. I had the best time reading it. Zelda the Bog Witch was a good time. She's one of those villains that, like, yes, she is killing people left and right, but you can't help but love her because, you know, it was her bog first and you kind of feel for her. She's just kind of mad because, you know, it was her bog first, and I'd be kind of pissed too. You know what I mean? And she's also, it's really funny because she's discovering frozen margaritas and she's just having the best time ever experiencing this water park for the first time while she's just offing people and the park is offing people, and it was just a good time. So definitely summery, and just if you like sort of fun, sort of comedic, zany, doesn't take itself too seriously, if you love that sort of thing, definitely pick this up because it was a good time. The last one is a lot darker, gruesome, gory. Yeah, if you like that sort of thing, definitely on the other side of things is Fantastic Land by Mike Bakoven. I reviewed this one as well a while back, and I'll link that video down below. But yeah, this one is this water park that's run mostly by, I say kids, but you know, probably 25 and under, and they kind of have this action plan in place for if a disaster happens, and they have shelter and they have food and all this stuff. Well, a disaster does happen because this hurricane comes through, and they're kind of stuck there for a good amount of time before help arrives because everybody thinks they're fine because they have a disaster plan, they have food, and other places, houses and stuff in the area don't have that. They're not as prepared as these people. But unfortunately, these kids are left unsupervised, and they don't have electricity, they don't have social media, they don't have these things to keep them occupied and entertained, and they get a little territorial over their food. So they kind of naturally go to the places that they normally work within the park. And they kind of get territorial, and they're like, no, this is our food. These are our resources. Nobody else is going to get them. And things go awry very quickly. So yeah, it's gruesome. It's dark and gruesome and gory, and it was really good though. 5 stars, easy, really good. Yeah. But yeah, to me it's summery because it's that theme park and it's in Florida, and yeah, it was really good. I think it fits on this list. Those are all the books. Hopefully you found something there that maybe you hadn't heard of. Let me know down in the comments what book you would recommend for summer. What is your summer read? In any genre, it doesn't have to be horror, but what is your summer read? What book do you think of when you think of summer? I would love to know. I'm always looking for suggestions. And yeah, next Friday, what day is this? Oh my God. Oh man, what am I doing? Let me think. What are we going to do next week? Oh, next Friday, I will be doing my TBR board game to choose my July reads. That's what I'm doing next week. Good Lord, I forgot what day it was. I didn't know we were that close to the end of the month, so, oh, I tell you what, it's been wild over here. I'll try to do better. I really will. But that's where we are. Yeah, y'all gotta try to keep me in line. Somebody's gotta do it. But yeah, I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye for now.